Welcome to Chat with Leaders. Our mission is to give resilient servant leaders a platform for sharing the inspiring things that they're doing to lead their teams, clients, and themselves wisely. I'm Tim Smith, Executive Partner at Stratfield Consulting, and today's host. I'm with John Trainor today, CTO of Wahoo Fitness, a leader in helping athletes get better by making easy-to-use connected devices. Hey, John.
Hey, how's it going, Tim?
So glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No, of course. You know, we've known each other for a number of years now. And, I want to start off by saying your contributions to our community are immeasurable. You're a leader.
Well, thank you.
Well, of course, you're a leader that I have tremendous respect for, professionally and personally. And anyone that knows you is certainly aware of the numerous awards and recognitions that you've received throughout your career. But I know it also reflect on your passion, your business acumen, your love for your teams. And so, again, it's wonderful to have you here today. After over 20 years at Aaron's, you recently started a new journey. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I had a phenomenal time at Aaron's, but it was I had a team ready to take on the stuff I was doing, so it was time to do something different. And what I've been able to do, I'm so fortunate. I've been able to merge profession with passion. I love endurance sports. I love running. I love cycling. I do triathlons. There's a phenomenal leader in that space, and it's Wahoo Fitness, based here out of Atlanta. And I just got so lucky that I was able to land my dream job. And they say that you're the average of the 5 people you spend time with. So I'm hoping my miles per hour on the bike will go up 4 or 5 miles an hour just by hanging out with some of these folks.
Oh, that's awesome. And that sounds very exciting. I know you're going to continue to do big and impactful things, John. And what a great summary. So thanks for sharing.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sure a lot of people that are going to be watching this think that they know John Trainor. So right at the start, I want to get right into some new information. So I'm going to challenge you to share with me 3 things that people either think they know or don't know about you.
Oh, wow.
30 seconds.
3
I'm just
things.
kidding. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
3 things. Okay.
Start the 30-second clock. Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'll start with one. I was in a brownie troupe when I was younger. You probably don't get that one a lot. I don't think that's well known. My sister knows it. The woman that took care of us was the troop leader, and so I got to tag along. And we did a really exotic field trips. Like we got a behind-the-scenes tour of a Burger King. I remember that distinctly, being in that brownie troupe. So yeah, really amazing stuff. Okay, so that's one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Another one, I'll let, a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people think my first job was being a bag boy, but actually, my first job was I sold ice cream at the Atlanta Zoo. I had a little cart that I pushed around and I sold ice cream. And I was an amazing salesman. I sold more ice cream than anybody else that was out and about. Just a natural thing. I was like 14 or 15. I think it was 14. However, they had the rule that you could also eat some of the ice cream, but they didn't say what some was. So while my sales were off the chart amazing, I'm pretty sure that I had negative margins at the end of each day. So
profits went away.
Yep. And then that leads into what I'll give you for my third one. Okay. Which I was able to use all that ice cream to really bulk up. And bulking up allowed me to get the job of being a bouncer for both the Run DMC and the LL Cool J concerts at the Olympic Village.
Wow.
So I was able to stand like this at the stage, and my job was to prevent, Olympic boxers and wrestlers and judo people. My job was to prevent them from rushing the stage. I don't think people understood what they were doing when they put me in that role, but it was a dream gig for me then because I'm a huge fan of both Run DMC and LL Cool J.
That is incredible. Now, is it true that in high school your nickname was LL Cool J Trainer?
That is
That's
not.
a rumor.
It was
Okay.
actually Royd's.
Oh,
Was that?
let's stick with mine. Yeah.
Okay, good, good,
Yeah.
good. Okay,
That's awesome, John. Hey, thanks for sharing that. So,
absolutely.
you and I talked a little bit earlier this week, and we discussed that we're all operating in an unusual, unprecedented time. And so, really, the purpose of this conversation is all about providing inspiration and ideas on a really short chat. So, just to get right into it, from your perspective, John, what's the one or two biggest challenges leaders of any industry are needing to address first right now?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is the unknown. And I think everybody had this false belief that things were predictable up until a few months ago, maybe. We all know that's not true. You lose a loved one or you get into an accident or whatever, and clearly things aren't predictable. But we all thought we knew it was predictable, and sure enough, it pretty much was. But now we're in a mode where we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know when we're going to go to a restaurant again. We don't know if we're ever going to see a movie again. We don't, all these things that we're used to doing, we don't know. And so we don't know what's going to happen with our business. And it's just that challenge is the complete and total unknown and uncertainty that I think that's the number one thing that we have. And then probably a number two is, probably the best way to put it is the loss of connection.
Yeah.
So if you think about how humans have done so well throughout history, our superpower is relationships,
Hmm.
and our ability to create those relationships. And we work together really well. And now we're saying we're intentionally not doing our superpower. We're telling everybody, stay away from each other, isolate, don't do the things that made us what we are with our life expectancy and our quality of life and all the things that made us who we are. And so I think that loss of connection is really bad because it plays into the problem with uncertainty, because with that connection, we could maybe assuage some of that uncertainty, right? So those are probably the two big things.
I think those are two really important ones to talk about. So the unknown.
Like when I'm from a leader perspective, I'm an MBWA kind of guy. Like, I am management by walking around, and I cannot walk around anymore. And so it takes away a big tool in my arsenal. So anyway, yeah, I think that's it.
No, I think those are two really important ones to talk about. And so, and I think there's a lot of leaders that are that way, that like to be in front of people and want to make sure that they're addressing the unknown and the fear that obviously exists today. And so with how things are today, what do you suggest? I mean, what do you think people can apply right now to their business or to their approach to leadership that can help with that unknown or that lack of connection?
Yeah, I have long said that the goal. Well, I've said that the role of the CIO or CTO is one of being what I call a FUD buster. So we've heard of FUD. It's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And I don't think that's true just for a CTO. I think that's true for any leader, that your job is to help people get to the other side of that fear. Typically, the other side of that fear, there's nothing. There's just nothing that could, it's just fear that you've built up in your mind. And I always thought, this is a very minuscule version of it, but I always thought that, developers who are afraid to deploy code, it was my job to help give them some dose of courage to know, what, if something goes wrong, we'll fix it. But you're never going to achieve what you want to achieve if you don't ship. Great artists ship, as Steve Jobs would say. And so I think it's our job to be FUD busters, but I think now it's anybody anywhere needs to think about the fear, the uncertainty, and the doubt. Look at their lives, look at their business, realize what you can control and what you can't control. You cannot control the of this virus. You can't control that. What you can control is how you're going to respond to how viral this virus is. You can control the actions you're doing to focus on your business as it is right now. And to me, it's up to leaders to get people to do that focus.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. That's really, really, really good. And so thinking about even you, John, where you're at right now in terms of moving into this new role in your journey and, even just getting to know your teams and all of the responsibilities that you have in the middle of dealing with a lot of this change that's happening right now. What inspires you? What is your source of inspiration, and what do you think might be able to inspire others that are searching for that right now?
Yeah. I think the first thing is what we can observe clearly right now is very inspirational. We're used to being inspired by firefighters that rush into a burning building, and we're used to being inspired by people who go to war to protect us. We have a whole different war going on right now, and what's cool is to get to see people going into the breach in the medical field, putting themselves in harm's way, working 20-hour days, barely getting sleep. Those people, what they're doing for the entire society is amazing. And it's just whatever we can do to support people that are doing that, including the people that are supporting them, is incredible. And so I get a lot of inspiration from that. Now, a lot of those folks, they signed up for that. They knew they were going to be in difficult situations. So then if you extend it one more bit, I go back to being a bag boy. When I was a bag boy, that didn't take courage to be a bag boy, to stock shelves, to put cans on a shelf. That didn't take courage. Now it takes courage. And everyday walk of life citizens that we took for granted are now keeping our food supply chain going, and they are showing courage that I would have never have thought, as somebody who stocked shelves back in the day, that would be required. And so the inspiration I get from that is how people are willing to step up. Everyday people that didn't choose a profession that they know they might have to step up.
Yeah.
They're now stepping up, and they're keeping those shelves stocked so that we can all eat and we can survive. And then finally, from an inspiration perspective, it's like, I think about what comes out on the other side of this. And most of us have played some kind of sport, or we've been in some kind of competition. And those really, when you're playing a team that you know you can beat, or when you're playing a team that isn't as good as you don't remember those games. You remember the games where you really had to dig deep, and it was a slugfest, and it was difficult to get past. And I think we're in that moment right now. And I think the people right now, and what inspires me is knowing that right now is the time to focus. Right now is to knowing that we're giving up those connections. How do I, as a leader, make those connections, even in spite of what I can't control? And what inspires me is figuring out a way to beat this invisible foe that we can't see, and that trying to problem solve that, trying to win this game that we're playing. It's a game of life and death, unfortunately, but so that on the other side, we come out of this accelerating faster, given everything we've already learned. Those are probably the key inspirational things.
Butch Benford, who's the founder of Stratfield, started a new program through all of this around elevating, innovating, and accelerating our business through this change. And I think that's a lot about what you're talking about is, pushing through this. And that's just a new level of courage. And I think what you gave were some really good examples. So thanks for that, John.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're fantastic. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the time today. We're going to be sharing this on our website and social media outlets. People can visit us at www.chatwithleaders.com. And if they have any suggestions or questions or anything else that they want to discuss, they can send that to info@chatwithleaders.com. John, thanks for everything today.
Well, thank you. And thanks for doing this, because this is creating that connection and letting people find a way to get information and connect. So thank you for doing it.
You're so welcome.